Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever time it is video finds you. It's your boy Jay here, and surprise, surprise, we're talking about more Monster Hunter Wilds. Who's shocked? Nobody. But hey, specifically we're going to be talking about Elder Dragons, right? Now, when I watched this Monster Hunter Wilds trailer, the way that the weather kind of kicks up out of nowhere with the lightning striking the lightning rods and the specific monsters, and then it kind of clears up for the reveal at the end of the trailer, I was like, man, this is really cool, right? But that really got my brain thinking. I was like, hold on, this dynamic weather could be really dope, right? You know, you're just walking around, all of a sudden, boom, it's raining, and now certain things in the environment are a little bit different, and maybe fire damage doesn't hit as hard because it's wet and rainy outside, or something like that, right? They could really go in depth with how the weather affects the way you travel around this map or maps. I don't know, you know, we talked about that in the last video. Is it going to be one big map, maybe some bigger, but 1, 2, 3 maps with many different biomes on it? The possibilities are endless. It's still super early. We're all just speculating and we're having fun. Enjoy. Comment down below with your thoughts. Anyway, the weather, right? It seems spontaneous, it seems dynamic, and it really has an effect on the environment, as you can see with the lightning striking the monsters and changing their properties in some way. Dope, right? Now, weather happens in our world too, right? Like some days it's rainy when you wake up, sometimes it's snowing because it's cold. But then that really got me thinking, you know, with the monsters and the Elder Dragon specifically. There's a quote I think I remember that, like, an Elder Dragon is a living, breathing, walking, natural disaster, right? And that got me thinking, like, wait a minute, could the Elder Dragons be tied to specific weather conditions, right? Hypothetically, you know, using this trailer, let's say you're in the desert part of, you know, the map, right? It never rains here, right? Like, naturally, it doesn't rain much here. You may get a sandstorm every now and then, a naturally occurring sandstorm. But let's say you're in the desert one time, and then it's raining hard as hell. You're like, hold up, but it don't rain in the desert typically, right? Next thing you see, a Namielle pulls up on you, and you're like, oh, that makes sense. The Namielle is a walking natural disaster, and it's kind of causing the rain. The Elder Dragon is having a massive effect on the environment around it, and then you could choose to fight Namielle in the desert with the rain, right? Now the desert's going to feel different than it has. Maybe the sand causes your movement to go slower because now it's wet sand as opposed to the dry sand you're used to, blah 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 blah, right? So what I'm really getting at here is, like, I want to see Elder Dragons have a very profound effect on the environment as they wander around the map, right? So, like, you can have Elder Dragons, no limits. They could be anywhere on the map. Just they you know, Velkhana does not have to stay in the tundra region. You know what I'm saying? Velkhana doesn't have to stay in the ice part. Hell, maybe sometimes you run into a Velkhana in the desert. It's an Elder Dragon, bro. It affects the environment around it. So you're in the desert again, right? All of a sudden, blizzard. Hold on, why is it snowing hard in the desert? What the heck is going? Oh, Velkhana. Makes sense, right? So knowing the individual Elder Dragons and looking around and really, like, taking in your environment, you'd be like, what is going on here? This must be a monster. Oh, there gotta be a Velkhana around here because it never snows in the desert. And then you go searching for the Velkhana, you know, you hunt it down, you track it down, and boom, you have your hunt right there. You know what I'm saying? Now, as cool of an idea as that is, not every Elder Dragon ties particularly well with the weather condition, right? I'm just gonna rattle off a few that do make sense, right? Chameleos, maybe it can get misty, right? You can have a mist. You're like, hey, why is it foggy all of a sudden? Chameleos is around here, right? Kushala Daora is kind of obvious. Windstorm, like super windy. You see tornadoes. You're like, all right, there's got to be a Kush over there somewhere, right? You could look off in the distance. You see tornadoes spinning up. You're like, there's probably a Kushala Daora over there. I'm gonna go over there and investigate. I'm gonna go check it out, right? Teostra maybe can have, like, some of the surrounding area, like, on fire, right? Like, trees are a little bit on fire, some of the brush is on fire. You're like, why is everything on fire? Teostra was around here, right? Talked about Velkhana and the snow and the blizzard, talked about Namielle and the rain. Cool. So, on the thumbnail of this video, I did put a Nergigante. What would Nergigante's weather effect could be? Well, right? Nergigante is the eater of elders, right? Nergigante's role in the ecosystem is balance, right? Nergigante could nullify the effects of other Elder Dragons, right? Nergigante could be an invader to other Elder Dragons, right? So it's raining in the desert, the rain's going crazy, suddenly the rain stops. Hold on. There was a Namielle around here, but Nergigante showed up, and now the rain has stopped, right? Kind of, calling back to Elder Seal from Monster Hunter World, you know what I'm saying? Oh, Nergigante's got high Elder Seal because he's the Eater of Elders. He's the Rayquaza to the other Elder Dragons, Kyogre and Groudon. Ooh, y'all like, hey, am I cooking? Hey, let me know in the comments down below if I'm cooking. But anyway, and other Elder Dragons like a Shagaru Magala, right? You see this crowd of smaller monsters in the trailer that we got. What if some of those monsters, had like the purple glow? What if they got the frenzy virus? Then you could look around at the environment and be like, yo, these monsters are hella aggressive, right? Because in the trailer, they're all kind of running away from these other monsters that are attacking them. But what if they're suddenly aggressive? Their behavior has changed. And you really look at them, you see the purple smoke coming out of them. You're like, hold on. Do these guys got the frenzy right now? Is there a Shagaru around here? Right? Same kind of thing could be said for Valhazak, right? Maybe the effluvium, the weird spore virus that Valhazak does, you've seen it happen with, I think, is it Remobras that he does it to in the Rotten Vale, right? Where they got the weird, like, smoky puff, right? That could happen to the smaller monsters in the area because there's a Valhazak in the area, right? So it's like, hey, oh, these Elder Dragons really have a big effect on the environment that they're in, and that can help clue you into who is where, right? A blizzard in the desert doesn't make sense. But then Velkhana shows its head, and you're like, oh, snap, yeah. Or maybe an Orochi Kirin, right? Like, hey, why is there a big old ice patch in the middle of the desert? Orochi Kirin is around. You gotta go hunt it down, right? So it's just an idea that I kind of want to see. So I don't want to see like the Elder Dragons buffed only on a specific fight level type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, they're just tough in this game because they're tougher than they used to be. But I also want them to affect the environment around them, and that can also have an effect on them being harder to deal with, them being harder to fight. Because like, hey, damn, I gotta deal with, the blizzard conditions of the environment in the wilds. Because it's Monster Hunter Wilds, you know what I'm saying? It's ice everywhere. I'm slipping and sliding. It's kind of hard for me to line up and hit this Velkhana while it's flying around. It's trying to kill me, and you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just had that thought, and I wanted to share that and talk about that with you guys and see how the community is feeling about that type of thing. Is this something that you kind of want to see in Monster Hunter Wilds? Do you want to be able to, I don't know, get on top of a mountain by doing the jumping thing that was shown in the trailer, look off in the distance, and you see a big old rainstorm somewhere where it doesn't usually rain, and you're like, I bet there's a Namielle over there. I'm gonna go hunt me a Namielle right now. Or you see tornadoes off in the distance, and you're like, is that Kush? That's Kush. I'm gonna go get Kushala right now. I don't know, man. That sounds like a dream come true, to have these Elder Dragons affect the environment around them, and then you have to make adjustments while you're out there in the field, right? Like, what if you just wanted to hang out in the forest for a little bit, and then boom, an Elder Dragon shows up, starts changing the environment. Now you gotta adapt to it. Now you're like, oh damn, this done ruined my whole plan. But you know what? I'm a monster hunter through and through. We improvise, we adapt, we overcome. That sounds like it's gonna be dope. Either way, I'm super excited for Wilds. As you can tell, I could talk about this all day and night. Hit the comments down below with what you think of this idea. I plan on replying to each and every comment that hits this video. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out if you love Monster Hunter. I'm gonna be doing at least 2 videos a week for the foreseeable future, and I'm gonna cover all the Monster Hunter Wild stuff I see. So hey, subscribe down below if you love Monster Hunter, and as always, people, happy hunting. Peace.